There was this story in the Bible, and it's almost humorous because it starts off talking about Zacchaeus was a wee little man. I'm not sure how tall he was or how short he was rather, but the Bible says that he was shorter than the usual man. The only reason why we notice this is because the Bible says in this instance, Jesus was walking down a road, and there was so much of a crowd around Jesus that Zacchaeus wanted to see him but couldn't because of the crowd. So the Bible says that there was a sycamore tree around him. He went up and climbed up the branches of that sycamore tree to take a good look at Jesus. The only reason why he had to climb up because, you know, his stature was a little shorter than the usual person. So as he climbed up, he changed his perspective and he looked at Jesus, mesmerized by all that he has heard about this man. And standing there, leaning on that sycamore branch, he looked at Jesus and he heard all of his words. And it was almost like a pause in time because Jesus stopped what he said, turned around and looked up to that sycamore tree, called out his name. Zacchaeus, come down over here. Has God ever called your name? In the midst of all of the hecticness of your life, in the midst of all of the storms and all of the trials and all of the tribulations, you feel like not even your friends remember you. God steps out and speaks through the storm and pierces through the noise and calls your name. You know that God loves you. He don't love you. He has a crush on you. He knows you by name. And he's calling you out because there's something about you that's different than everyone else. That's why you're still alive. That's why the car accident didn't kill you. That's why the sickness couldn't hold you. That's why the person that left you, you didn't lose your mind over it. Because God, he's calling your name. The story doesn't stop there, my brother and sister. Let's continue. Because after Jesus calls Zacchaeus' name, he goes further to say, Zacchaeus, get down from there, man. I'm going to your house today. Whoa, hold on for 1 second. That is a little nerve-wracking. Because it's one thing for God to call my name and I say, hey, that's me. Thank you, for remembering me and reminding me who I am. Thank you that I'm loved and thank you that I'm chosen. But God doesn't stop right there. He don't just have you come to his house while he calls your name. No, he says, I want to go to your house. Now, if you were like me when I was little, every time we had visitors come into the house, we would do that super duper cleanup. And I'm talking about putting all the stuff underneath your bed, underneath the sofa, sitting down on crutchy, lumpy sofas because everything that you should have hid or put away in its neat little place is hiding everywhere that it shouldn't be. If Jesus were to come to your house, what would he find? Matter of fact, let's get deeper. You know how Jesus says, behold, I stand knocking at your door? And yes, as your super duper Christian self, you open up the door to your heart and you say, Lord, come into my house. Well, if you know you have visitors, the first thing you're going to clean is your living room and your dining room because that's where everyone visits. But what would happen if Jesus says, I don't want to stay in your living room and I don't want to eat in your dining room. I want to go to your room. Oh Lord, that right there is nerve-wracking in itself because I know a lot of people's houses can be clean in the obvious places. But how about your room? Where your socks at? Where your drawers at? Yeah, I said it. Where all the stuff that you've been hiding? Your living room looks spotless. What about your room? See, we come and we say, Lord, come into this part of my life and come into that part of my life. Let me show the world how much of a good Christian I am. But when Jesus says the same thing he said to Zacchaeus, let me come into your house, but let me walk into your room. Sometimes we hide some things from God. And that's why we don't see His glory manifest the way He wants to manifest in our lives. Because we are trying to control God of where He can stay in our own house. God is saying, when I come to your house, I want to come into every room in the house. Don't just give me your mind and not give me your heart. Don't just give me the good things and not the bad things. Sometimes we don't even have to worry about trying to clean our room. Just let Him come in, because you've been trying to clean your room for years. Your room for years. Your room for years. But you could only get so far. I know someone that's able to clean so good that it will never need to be touched by human hands, because certain things human hands cannot touch and cannot change. Why don't you let God come in the craziness of your room? I know it's crazy. I know it's upside down. I know it looks like a pig pen. But God says, I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm not scared of it. The craziness in the rooms of your heart is not stronger than the strength of my love. Stop trying to clean your room by yourself. Give it to God. Because if you do, after He calls your name and cleans your room, there's nothing that can hold you back from flowing in His love. Why don't you open up the way Zacchaeus did? Because He and only He is able to change the unchangeable in your life. Hey, let God clean your room. I'll see you later. God bless you.